Drew Sports presents Drew's Fat Five Picks, Week 1. Hi everyone, hopefully everyone enjoyed my song yesterday. Guess what? If you through all that nonsense, I did pick the correct pick. I picked the Cowboys +9. Cowboys almost won outright, but they did cover the +9. We're doing the spreads, baby. We're not necessarily doing the the outright picks. That's what we do here. We pick against the spreads. I'm 2-0 in my picks so far this season. So now, since the NFL starts, you get my Fat Five picks. It's going to be 1 college football pick and 4 NFL picks every week. We'll start because college football just begins on Saturdays. We'll take our college football pick and go first. And also, I'll give you a little bit of side. So I will say, I'm not picking them, but actually I've also gone 2-0 on my side picks. I kind of like BYU +7 over Utah, but that's a tough call. But I do like BYU +7. But the one I really like is Texas getting a touchdown in Arkansas. I know it's fool's gold. Oh no, I can't trust Texas. I liked actually what Steve Sarkisian had last week against Louisiana. Louisiana is probably the second best non-Power 5 school behind Cincinnati in the country right now. And Texas kind of blew them around last week. Kind of played big boy football. Showed that actually Texas might be legitimate this season. And Arkansas has been probably the worst team in the SEC over the last 3 years. I know it's a Big 12 against an SEC, but it's going to be a conference game probably next year or the following year. So Texas, I think there's a huge talent discrepancy around the field. I think Texas blows them out and wins easily. I love that I'm only getting a touchdown. Take the horns. Don't look back. That is my first winner. It's my college football winner. Anyways. All right, let's go to the NFL now. So my 4 NFL picks. Pick number 1. How can I pick against Sam Darnold? Well, when he was with the Jets, we picked against him all the time. And now why would I not pick against him in Carolina? I'm not saying Sam Darnold, I think he'll have some moments this year, but I do like the Jets in this game. I actually think the Jets up front match up very well with Carolina, especially on the defensive side. I can actually see the Jets pass rush kind of terrorizing Sam Darnold, bringing nightmares to what Sam Darnold had in his day with the Jets. The Jets actually have a very underrated defense, especially up front. I know the secondary is a little shaky. But the Panthers did lose Curtis Samuel in the offseason, who's now lost to injury, of course, because he's on injury reserve with the Washington football team. So the Panthers are not quite as deep this season at wide receiver. Christian McCaffrey's back, I know. But I actually think Zach Wilson and the Jets offense is actually going to be very comfortable in this game. And I think the Jets pull off the upset outright. But even if you don't want to take the upset outright, I love getting 4 points. I think this is a field goal game either way. I think it's going to be a really close football game. I love the Jets +4. You know that Drew's right. Take the Jets. Okay. This is my favorite pick of the week. This is like taking candy from a baby. I know it's a cliche, but this really is like taking candy from a baby. Minnesota getting a field goal in Cincinnati. I mean, that's all they're getting against. I mean, this is just a mismatch. I mean, the Bengals defense is kind of a rebuilding defense, and they're going against the best wide receiving unit. One of them, at least the best duo you could argue in football. I know there's a lot of good wide receiving duos, but shoot, like Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen are pretty darn good. Kirk Cousins in an early window, you gotta love it. Dalvin Cook's gonna do his thing. I think that Joe Burrow is going to slowly be brought back in from injury. I think the Bengals struggle in this game. I actually think the Vikings would roll. I probably would have laid 4 or 5 with Minnesota, but getting it at 3, I think that's a great number. You know, I like the Vikings this year, playoff odds. That's one of my prop bets of the year. And I love the Vikings covering in this game, getting off to a good start. The Vikings defense also is much, much improved from last season, the free agent acquisitions they made. So take the Vikings and run away with it. All right. Shoot up. All right. Here's one that I love, the Saints. I like it. Well, you know what? I love this pick. I actually love the matchup. I know that the Packers won in Week 3 last year, 37-30 in the Superdome. But here's why I like the Saints in this game. I actually was surprised by that outcome. This shows just how locked in Aaron Rodgers was last season. The Saints front 4, I think, can get pressure. I am worried about the new center the Packers have. It's a rookie out of Michigan, and I actually think he is going to struggle in this game against Cameron Jordan and the boys up front for the Saints. Those are some big boys. Expect some stunts. Expect Aaron Rodgers to get pressure in the middle. I think Marshall and Lattimore could slow down Devontae Adams a little bit. Devontae Adams is still going to get his. He's probably still going to catch 6-7 balls in this game, but he's not going to go off for like 150 and 2 touchdowns. And the Saints offensively, I think actually they're going to be comfortable against the Packers defense, which, as we've said over the last couple of years, a little soft in the middle. And I think the Saints are going to be able to move the ball. But here is the biggest reason why I take the Saints plus 3.5. And I know it's stupid because it's, the paralysis by analysis. People forget that football is a very emotional sport. Football is a sport it just its fans, its players. Players feed off the crowd. They feed off each other. They feed off the moment. And this Sunday, with what happened to New Orleans and Hurricane Ida, this game is being played in Jacksonville, Florida. I think that the Saints are going to play one of the most inspired football games that any team's going to play all season. Just expect the Saints to play out of their minds in this game. I love it that I'm getting the hook. I know that a lot of times Vegas does that to reel you in, say it's a sucker bet. Do not feel discouraged by that. I love the Saints in this game. I love the Saints money line in this game, actually. And don't worry, it's going to be the biggest overreaction. I think the Saints are definitely a comeback team. They'll be okay. They're not going to be as bad as people think, but they're not going to go 13-4, 12-5. They're not going to be that good. And the Packers are still going to be pretty decent. So don't overreact to this game, because the Packers are going to be just fine, and the Saints aren't going to be as good as they look in this game. I actually think the Hurricane situation is really going to hinder them throughout the season, but I think for this week, I think the Saints come out very inspired and win a super-duper emotional football. And then last but not least, blowout of the week, Rams minus 7.5. As I put in my blog that I just released this morning, what are the Bears better at than the Rams? Like the Saints, Packers, the Saints are better in a few things. The Saints have a better defensive line than the Packers, a better offensive line. You can argue probably with Alvin Kamara, a better running back room than the Packers. But the Rams, Bears, even the kicking game is better for the Rams. Like the special teams is better for the Rams. They're better at quarterback. They're better at wide receiver. You could argue running back. Maybe the Bears, maybe David Montgomery is better, but it's not like David Montgomery's a top 10 back. I mean, the Rams are better at just about everything than the Bears. I think Andy Dalton is pretty much getting thrown to the wolves in this game. I think this game is going to be an ugly game. I think the NFL, I love you guys. You guys bring great content, obviously. Last night's game was unbelievable. But I think this was a miss for the opening Sunday night game, and I know it's because the Chicago Bears, bear down, Chicago Bears. They just bring a big number because they have such a huge historic fan base. Trust me, I got a lot of friends that are Bears fans. I've been to a lot of Bears bars. I have a soft spot for the Bears in general, but to tell you the truth, this is just not a fair fight. I mean, and the Rams are getting 7.5. I love the Rams to absolutely blow the doors off the Bears in this game. This game is going to be over by halftime. Maybe we even see Justin Fields in the second half. But I'm not scared about a backdoor cover. Come on. Really? Dak Prescott getting 9. Love the backdoor cover. Didn't even need it. Almost did. Thanks, Chris Godwin, for fumbling on the 2-yard line. Almost did, but we did not. And it ended up being a game that came down to the wire. Anyways, that's all I got. Winners, 5-0. My goal this season is to go 3-2. We'll review our picks Monday night, and we'll talk about it. And I'll tell you what, if I go worse than 3-2 this season, you'll see. I'll do some bad things to myself. Anyways, eat some nasty food. I don't know. We'll find out. You'll have to find out. You'll have to watch and see. But we'll be back on Monday to talk about it. Anyways, so my season record is 2-0. Please like and subscribe to this video. Follow me at drewsports.com, Facebook Sports Stu with Drew, Twitter at Stu Drew. We're going 5-0 this week. We'll probably not. Well, let's go 4-1. 4-1 is my goal every week. It's hard to go 5-0. 4-1. Let's be realistic. I'm going to win some people some money this year. We're going 60% or better on these picks because that's what we do. We bring winners to you. Have a lovely weekend. See you next week.